Hey everyone, RogueGold here, and welcome to PTS Day, everybody. As you can see, the Division's account posted an hour ago. The TU17 PTS is now live for all PC players. To check patch notes or leave your feedback, you can go to that link, and then you can also leave suggestions on the PTS channel of their Discord and on the forums like they usually have it. So if you're on PC, and maybe you already preloaded it, or you can go and download it right now and play the PTS on UB Connect. But what we're going to do right now is go through the patch notes. There's some, meh stuff in there, but there's also some really exciting stuff that I personally didn't see coming at all, and I'm really excited for what that's going to add to the Division 2, so let's get into it. Alright, so here we are. Welcome to the Season 11 PTS. I just want to give a very quick shout and let you all know that I will be going live on the PTS in just a few hours around 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern, so if you want to see all of this new stuff in action, be sure to tune into that. But for now, let's see what is in store for Season 11. Getting right to it, we start with the preload and the patch size there. If you're going to download it on PC, that's the amount of space that you need to have available. But let's get to it. New gear, starting with the new gear brand set called HG or Habsburg Guard. One piece gives you 15% headshot damage, two piece gives you 15% marksman rifle damage, and the three piece gives you 10% status effects. So a bit of an interesting blend there, but I think it makes more sense once you pair it with something like the new exotic that we'll get to in just a minute, but it also fits in with the general theme this season of what seems like sniping and support, so that'll be interesting to see for sure. As per usual, we have two new named items of this new brand. The first is a chest piece called Venerable. Not vulnerable, but venerable. With talent, perfect trauma, applies blind to enemy hit in the head, cooldown 20 seconds, applies bleed to an enemy hit in the chest, cooldown 20 seconds. I believe the difference there is that it's a 30-second cooldown on the normal version, so it's definitely a good little chunk of an increase. We'll see if it's worth using, though, with that brand. Then we've got the new name backpack, the Courier, with talent, perfect creeping death, which of course is a popular one to use, especially with status stuff, so you do get status effects on that brand set. Causing status effects on an enemy has a chance to spread the same effect to the nearest enemy within 10 meters, can only occur once every 10 seconds. And I believe that's a range increase from 8 to 10 meters if my memory serves me correctly. Moving on, we have the new gear set called Hot Shot. The two-piece gives you 30% marksman rifle damage and 30% stability. Three-piece gives you 30% headshot damage, and the four-piece is the new talent called Headache, which seems like a lot to go through at first, but it actually sounds pretty interesting. So the first headshot with a marksman rifle will increase your next headshot by 20%. The second consecutive headshot with a marksman rifle will give you 10% armor back if you're missing armor, or if you have full armor, it will give you 50% bonus armor, which is a pretty nice value. And then the third consecutive headshot will refill the magazine, and from the fourth headshot and thereon, you'll get all 3 bonuses for every headshot kill that you get. And then if you miss a headshot, it'll reset that cycle. The chest piece amplification talent is Daring, which increases that bonus armor from 50 to 100%, and the backpack talent is called Blessed. Agents can miss a headshot before resetting the cycle. So as a Hunter's Faith fan from the Division 1, this actually sounds pretty interesting to me. I think it could, along with some other stuff that we'll get to soon, kind of increase the viability for high-end sniping in the Division 2, which has never really taken off, maybe when the game first came out, but it's always been dominated by the Nemesis. And while I'm sure that's still going to be really popular to use with this, I'm kind of excited to try this out. Again, I don't think it's going to be as competitive as some other things in the game, but it should be fun, and I'm definitely interested to try it out on the PTS. Moving on to the new exotics, I'm going to save the second one for a bit of a surprise there, or you might have seen it, but it's pretty exciting. But let's get to this first one, which is a new exotic marksman rifle called the Sacrum Imperium. Talent is called the Trap. Tags enemies when in scope, maximum of 10. Killing any marked targets with a headshot applies a 10-second burn status and gives 50% of a movement debuff to all other targets. Cooldown is 30 seconds. Killing another enemy with a headshot shortens the cooldown for 10 seconds. Targets are marked after 2 seconds in scope. So I have kind of mixed feelings about this one. As a general exotic, just to slot in on any build, this is going to be kind of trash, right? But if you actually pair it with the new stuff that they're introducing, like that new brand like Perfect Creeping Death, and you get the status effects on the brand, this could actually be kind of interesting, right? Because all you have to do is keep a target in your scope for 2 seconds and they get marked, and you just kill one enemy, and then all of them, there's no range amount or whatever, just get set on fire. That could be a pretty strong support build. So I'm interested to see how this is going to go. Obviously, we're going to try it out on the PTS. I'm so on this one. I mean, I'm sure I'll use it. I'm sure it's going to be kind of fun, and there'll be some instances where the builds with this could be really valuable. But maybe I got my hopes up too much. I was really thinking we were going to get an AR or an SMG, since we haven't for a long time. Maybe in Year 5 Season 1. Either way, should be pretty interesting, and that is the Sacrum Imperium. But that pales in comparison to this next one. We are getting the NINJABIKE Messenger Bag in the Division 2. If anyone does not know what this is, this was an exotic we had back in the Division 1, and if you were to make a list of all of the different requests that people have had for things from Div 1 to come to Div 2, gear sets, weapons, exotics, this tops a lot of lists, right? It was such a good exotic in the Division 1, and for good reason. The talent is resourceful, slots in with any equipped gear set and or brand set item to fulfill a requirement towards unlocking a gear and or brand set bonus, allows to unlock bonuses from multiple sets simultaneously. So what that means, and at least the way it worked in the Division 1, and it doesn't specify it here, but when you're wearing, let's say, 3 pieces of Striker and 2 pieces of Heartbreaker, if you also have the Ninja Bike equipped, that means you would then get the 4-piece Striker bonus and the 3-piece Heartbreaker bonus. It takes any gear set or brand set you're wearing and gives you a +1, right? So you save slots in that you don't have to run, another piece of whatever you're running, and then you can make these combinations that were really, really fun to do in the Division 1. It created a ton of build diversity, and I'm really excited to see this coming to the Division 2. I mean, off the bat, I'm thinking if I run 3 Striker, 1 Heartbreaker, and 1 Walker, I'm suddenly getting the 4-piece Striker bonus where I can get all of that weapon handling and all the extra damage. 2 Heartbreaker gives me the 15% AR damage, and then 1 Heartbreaker gives that, and then 1 Walker, I get the extra weapon damage and the damage to armor. Like, there's so many combinations, and this was exactly why it was so popular in the Division 1, so I'm ecstatic that they're finally bringing this to the Division 2, and I think it's going to be a really, really awesome addition. As far as new exotics, it says that that's it. I don't know if that means we're only getting 2 new exotics this season. The kind of precedent since Season 9 is that we would get 3. So along with there also being no new weapons this season, which was something that also happened in Season 10, if we're also now only getting 2 exotics compared to 3, I would be a bit disappointed that the offerings we're getting every season seem to be decreasing, but we'll talk about that a bit at the end. Let's keep going with this breakdown. Next up, we come to the new named weapons and talents, and this one I'm actually really excited for, probably more than a lot of the stuff on here, aside from the Ninja Bike, of course. But the first is the Prophet, which is a new named Magnum Revolver, which we'll see how many people use that, but the new talent, I should just start with that. The new talent at the bottom you can see there is called Focused. After killing an enemy with a headshot, the next shot landed on an enemy will be a guaranteed headshot, exclusive for pistols, rifles, and marksman rifles. So that alone is pretty cool. Obviously, it fits in with the theme of the season of kind of sniping and long-range stuff. I'm excited for that alone, but especially the perfected version is what I'm really excited for. So obviously, these 2 weapons have the same version, so I just need to go over one of them, but we have the revolver and then also a G28 marksman rifle, which is probably the one that I'm more interested to try out, and it has, of course, perfectly focused. Killing an enemy with a headshot guarantees that the next shot will be a critical headshot, exclusive for pistols, rifles, and marksman rifles. So a critical headshot anywhere on the body after you get 1 headshot kill. That's pretty interesting. As I said earlier with the gear set, high-end sniping viability has been on the ground, right? Ever since Division 2 came out. Maybe there was a period where it was a little bit viable, but especially since we've had the Nemesis, the Mantis, like there's just so many good exotic options that high-end sniping has never really found its place, which was sad to me because I love doing it in the Division 1. But to see a talent like this come in where an exotic cannot get this kind of a bonus, I'm really interested to try and pair that with some of the sniping options we have in the game and see how it does. So at least at a first glance, aside from the Ninja Bike, this is probably what I'm most excited for, and I'm very, very keen to try that out. Let's move on, though, to the final bit here, which is the PvP quality of life changes, and this is the other big bombshell that I already know the comments are going to be filled about, but let's go over it. The first one is that the lower skill tier players can no longer use Jammer against higher skill tier players. Jammer should be the same level or higher. That is the same wording they had on the known issues board from back a few weeks ago, and so we will have to hop into the PTS and kind of see how it functions out. I'm waiting to give my judgment on that one because I want to see how it actually functions, but yeah, that'll be interesting. Finally, they're introducing the fix for the shrapnel trap. Hopefully it works this time, fingers crossed. It was supposed to work back in TU16.1 and it did not, but it says here that the shrapnel would apply PvE damage when in PvP, and supposedly that is fixed. I really hope that's the case because it is sorely needed. And then last up, it's been confirmed. Exotics that are otherwise exclusive to a specific content and source are available as random contaminated drops in the DZ. Exotic weapons that can be received as random loot drops after killing enemies in the DZ, the Ravenous, the Bighorn, and the Eagle Bearer. I told you guys, so many people said, oh, he's lying, he's making this up. There it is. They're adding the raid exotics and even the Bighorn, which is exclusive to legendary content, into the DZ. As I've said before, I don't have a terribly strong opinion either way on this conversation. There's a lot of people who feel very strongly one way or the other, but here I am just to report that it is indeed the case that we are getting the raid exotics in the DZ, and I'm going to be very interested to see what the community reaction is to that as this day goes on and as the PTS continues. Other than that, we have the list of known issues here. I will leave a link to the patch notes in the description description so you can go and read through all of that and the rest of the stuff for yourself on your own time if you would like more details. But that is the breakdown for Phase 1 of the Season 11 PTS, everybody. Overall, like I said at the start, some good, some bad. Really excited for the Ninja Bike, really excited to try out that new Focus talent. That seems really cool to me. Some of the things I'm less thrilled about is the fact that there seem to be only 2 exotics coming, the fact that some of the PvP changes that were listed on the known issues board are not on here, and Morden teased a while ago that there would be even more stuff on there that wasn't on the known issues board, but it's also not here on the patch notes. So as always, some of the PTS stuff doesn't always come in on time. There's always more information to learn at a later date, so I'm not going to give any final judgments until we have more concrete information. But some of that stuff does upset me a little bit. Like I said, some good, some bad. That's the Season 11 PTS, at least Phase 1, and that's the patch notes for it. Thank you all so much for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed this video, and be sure to subscribe with notifications on to be updated every time I upload. Let me know your thoughts about everything we see going on in here. The new brand set, gear set, the Ninja Bike coming back, the raid exotics in the DZ, the fact that there are only 2 exotics listed. Whatever your thoughts are, you know that I want to hear them, so I look forward to reading them down below. Final reminder to catch me live in just a few hours here when I check out the PTS, and we'll go through everything live together and see what it's all about. But until then, everybody, that is going to do it for me today. Once again, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day, and until the next one, guys, RogueGold out.